Today's podcast is brought to you by Faith versus Fear, Breaking Family Ties, now available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. You are now listening to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. You are now listening to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. Please begin to take that good deep breath as we begin to refresh, recharge, and reset. Let's go. Welcome to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. As always, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to share some tips and some tools with you guys that I believe will assist you in becoming a better you. That's what this podcast is all about. It's about reminding you that regardless of wherever you are in your life right now, regardless of how many mistakes you have made, you can always, and I mean always, click that reset button and start all over again. So that's what we talk about. Different topics, different issues, concerns, problems, trauma that has halted you, that has stopped you, that has halted me, that has stopped me from progressing. And we deal with those head on. We expose them because we believe here on this podcast that when you expose something, you take away its power. Take away its power. So we believe in revealing and unveiling. That's the word we're looking for today. Unveiling things, situations, dark secrets that will keep you from progressing, keep you from becoming the person that you deserve to be. And saying the word secret today kind of reminds me of something that I heard earlier this week, and about secrets, about family secrets, and how the trauma that are often attached to family secrets. And it's very painful for certain people to have to hold on to secrets that has affected them personally, affected their development personally. And as much as people would like to believe that those secrets has not affected them, their life will show that it has. They have a lot of times what I call residue from trauma, residue from the pain, residue from guilt, residue from shame, residue from secrets. So here on this podcast, we talk about those type of secrets. We talk about not even just trauma, secrets and trauma from childhood, but even from being an adult. The secrets that you keep that is unhealthy, the things that go on behind your closed doors, the things that are happening to you when no one else is around. So we talk about these things because we realize that when we talk about these things, we expose them. And when you expose something, all you're doing is putting a light on it. You're shining a bright light on it. And when you shine a bright light on something, it's no longer hidden anymore. And then when you expose it and it's no longer hidden, then it no longer has the control over you that it once had. So that's one of the main reasons why we attempt to expose as much as we can and talk about as much as we can, so that number one, you don't feel isolated. You don't feel like you're the only person who ever has had issues or drama or trauma. Because once we take away that feeling of isolation, then you can understand that there is many other people just like you who have dealt with things just like you or even worse, right? And so it makes you feel less of a victim when you realize that you're not the only one. You could take back that power that you are supposed to have in the first place, but you can take it back. You don't have to live under shame or guilt or anything. So this podcast is very important in exposing and sharing and empowering individuals who feel as if their voice means nothing, as if their story means nothing, as if their life means nothing. There are so many people who have a story in them, like they have this testimony that is in them that is just burning to get out. And this testimony and this story will help so many people, because once again, they're feeling like you did. And if you're able to, get that out, you will help so many people. So Renew My Podcast is designed to help. It's designed to empower, to strengthen, encourage, and inform. That's what we do here. And today is just like any other day. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do what we do best, and that's to equip you on today. I just want to remind you that most of the information that we share here on this podcast can be found in the books Faith versus Fear, Breaking Family Ties. All of those are available on Amazon.com as well as Barnes and Noble. Please remember to support me on this podcast by deciding today, yes, I do want to support this financially, keep this on the air. And so how I can do that is to sow a seed, become a committed member here, and you don't have to give a lot. You don't have to, break your bank to do it, but just a little bit goes a long way. So I want to get those preliminaries out the way, because, I want to get to why we're here today. So today I was thinking about what we can talk about, what we should talk about, what is needed. And in my meditation time, in my prayer time, I heard this steady and firm, steady and firm. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how, you and I'm going to say you and I today, because I'm talking about us, I'm talking about me and you. And the fact that we can go through so many things in life that could have and should have knocked us off our feet. It should have. If it had its way, right? If it had its way, it would have knocked us off our feet. So much. And sometimes, things come in waves. They just keep coming. Just when you thought, okay, that is it. Here comes another wave, right? And then you have the wind blowing, and you have, all the elements kind of working against you. And if you haven't been here in your life yet, if you haven't had that type of environment, just understand that everybody has their turn. Everybody has their turn. And so we all experience these turbulent, situations and moments in all of our lives. But once again, I'm going to emphasize that yours might not look like mine might not look like yours, but it really, in the end, is still a storm. It's still a very chaotic environment. It's still trauma, still some drama, still, confusion, it's still pain, still hurt, it's still whatever. It doesn't matter. It's, it might come in different shapes and forms, but they are still connected. It's still the same. Your journey might not look like my journey, but there are some similarities in our journey, right? So in our life, you and I have had moments where we just, feel like, okay, truly this has to be the end of this, but no, here comes another wave, like I said, and then you have the elements working against you. You have the rain, and you have the wind, and you have, not just like normal wind, but I'm talking about the gushing wind that, I'm from the Windy City, Chicago, and this wind here in Chicago can get so strong that, I've seen a neighbor's trampoline fly out the yard and find it in the front of another yard on like another block or something. So I've seen, like branches fall. I've seen my neighbors, the front of their house where branches have literally broken off. Huge branches. I've seen trees come up and be, uprooted, not because of rain and not because of a snowstorm, but the wind. The wind was so strong that it literally uprooted, a tree, branches. It caused damage. I've seen roofs, commercial buildings and residential homes be literally lifted off of properties because of the wind. So we all have moments in our lives where the elements are working against us. The waves are coming in hard, and they're consistent. Hear me when I say they're consistent. Just this week I was talking to someone about this conversation, And I was telling them that even in childbirth, I always relate things in childbirth because there's so many similarities about life and childbirth that I could just constantly talk about that all day. But even in childbirth, a woman has a pause. There are moments where it gets consistent, more consistent, the closer you get to your delivery. But there is moments in the pause. And I've shared this before how my sister played a huge part for me in a delivery room because her job was to look at the monitor and tell me, hey, here comes a big one. Okay, it's getting ready to go away. It's getting ready to, slow down and it's getting ready to leave. You're going to feel better. So I brace myself for every contraction based upon what she said. If she said it's going to be strong, I brace for a strong one. If she said it's not going to be that bad, I braced for that. When she said it's about to leave, I was waiting, on pins and needles for whatever she said because I based, how I responded to what she said, right? So I was just telling someone recently that even in childbirth, you get a pause. You get some space in between. And that the only time that it's consistently hitting back to back, and gets stronger is the closer that you get to the time that you're getting ready to push, right? Then for those who have had the opportunity to give birth, natural childbirth, then you know what I'm talking about. The closer that they get, that's why the doctors ask you, well, how many minutes are your contractions apart? Because the closer that you get to your delivery, then the less time you have for the in-between, that pause, right? But in life, there are moments where you feel like, okay, the pause is gone. The pause is less time between the pause. And that's how you're getting close to what you need to be. This is what I'm trying to talk to you today about. Hear me what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to take my time and deliver it the best way that I can because this is something that came to me this week. Because as I reflected on my own life and my own situation, I saw a pattern. And so I realized what was going on. As I stated, I'm comparing this to childbirth, because it reminds me so much of it. So, there are things in your life and it, sometimes it just comes, just goes, just comes, it just goes. And it's not really a big deal. That's like the first part of your delivery process. You brace it, as I'm in the room, I'm waiting for my sister to say certain things and I'm bracing. And I'm ready for the next. Because I know, what she's telling me. I already know how to prepare myself. I know how to handle it. I know what to do. Then there came a point, and it came a point where what she said, it didn't even matter anymore because I was so focused. Now on the preparation to push. So at this point, she wasn't looking at the monitor. This is 3 kids. At some point, she no longer looks at the monitor. She's no longer telling me about what's coming, how strong it is. My body knows. Come on, somebody. My body knows that it's time to push. Because now this is consistent. This is close together. The contractions are close together. There's no more space in between. And now it's time to push. So my sister's no longer telling me, okay, sweetie, this is a big one. This is a small one. This is going to last this long. She's not doing this anymore. She's looking at me because now I have this determination that's coming over me now. Now I'm focused, not on her voice now. Now I'm relying on my insides, my inner spirit, my inner man, right? Now I'm relying on that to tell me what to do next. Your body, when a woman, is going through birth, your body is going to let you know it is time. And I remember prior to me having children of my own, I never understood how a woman, can have a baby in a car or in a house or in a public place. Because I had never experienced it. Once I gave birth, I realized that she cannot control that. Once it's time, your body is almost rejecting the baby. Your body is going to push this baby out whether you want it to come out or not. Your body is naturally designed to push it out. So there comes a point in our life that things become so consistent and you thinking, oh my God, I don't get it. Like, what have I done wrong? Why is this hitting me back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back? And this is when the steady and the firm comes into it. Steady and firm. Because before I got to the point of um, focusing and taking over this whole situation, before I get to that point, I'm relying on someone else to tell me and to share with me and to show me what my next steps are. And I listened to their voice and I responded according to what they said. But the closer that it got, it shifts. And then this is when I realized I'm steady. This is when I realized that I'm holding my ground. This is when I realized that I'm firm in my position and what I need to do. I'm steady. I'm paying attention now. I'm focused. Because beforehand, you're just trying to survive the moment, right? But now you have a goal. Now you have an objective, and that's to deliver your child. That's your objective. Like everything else means nothing. At first you're trying to focus on breathing, you're trying to focus on techniques, you're trying to focus on this, you're trying to focus on that. But then there comes a time when you're focused on the whole goal of why you're there, and that's to deliver your baby. And your body responds accordingly, and your body becomes steady, your body becomes firm, your body becomes focused, your mind becomes focused, because your goal now is to deliver this baby. And so I want to encourage someone today, because I needed the encouragement. I needed this word, because as I was speaking about some things that were going on in my life, as I was talking myself out of something and being frustrated about something that I was going through, immediately this came to me. Immediately the process came to me that before I gave birth, before that moment of pushing, my contractions became shorter. The time between them, that means it was boom, 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 bang, 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 right? It became shorter. And then I became focused, because something was getting ready to happen. A lot of people always say, right before your next, right before your next. I think last podcast we were talking about your next. But right before your next, people always share and tell people it gets worse before it gets better. Right? They say it gets worse before it gets better. And I'm telling you, I heard this my whole life, but really didn't get the concept. I thought it was just something that we say. But it's a fact. It's a fact. Even in the process of childbirth, the most uncomfortable pain comes during that moment that you're getting ready to prepare to push. Now, I'm gonna make this even better. I'll make this even better when I get to the end of this. But hear me, you are now focused. You've been hit with this thing, that thing, and it was constant now. It's been consistent now. You don't feel like you're getting any breather. I'm not getting any space. I'm not getting any breathing room. Can I get a break? I get it. I get it, because even in childbirth, I forgot how to breathe. And you know how I know I forgot how to breathe? Because they put that oxygen on my face every time I was at that point where it was time for me to push. They had to put that oxygen on. I forgot how to breathe. I was so focused on the push. Come on, somebody. I was so focused on getting it done that I forgot how to breathe properly. And so I get the fact that you at a point where you feel like this keep happening, and this keeps happening, and then this keeps happening, and you can't get a break. And I get it now. You feel like your breath been taken away from you, and you can't even think, you can't even focus, you can't even breathe. I get it. I get it. I get it. That's because something is getting ready to happen. That's because the thing that you've been praying for, the thing that you have been waiting for, is getting ready to happen. It's because right now you at the moment where it's about to come forth. It's about to break loose. This the thing that has been bounding you up and has been causing you pain and been causing you suffering. It's been causing you hurt and been causing you confusion, and it's been taking your breath away. It's getting ready to come forth. I say to God often when I go through things, I know this is not for nothing. I know it's not. I know this is just not. I'm not going through these things just for nothing. It's not possible. And I'm here to encourage you today to tell you you're not going through it for nothing. There is a purpose for your pain. There's a purpose for this. I want you to stay steady. I want you to stay firm, because this is the moment that you have to give your focus. You have to get your focus back. This is the time. If you are experiencing what I'm talking about today, if you found yourself being bombarded with one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, and this fits your situation, hear me when I tell you, this is the pivotal moment in your life. And this is when you have to buckle down and be steady and be firm on what you know and what you believe. You can't waver. You can't waver. You're being pushed. You've been, twisted around. The wind is heavy and strong, right? But you have to be consistent. And you have to be focused. And you have to hold your ground. You have to stand your ground. You have to be firm in it. And now you need to pay attention to the next, what is coming. You have to take all the strength that you have. This is not the moment that you give up. This is not the moment that you exhaust yourself, because in childbirth you can't do that. There is a moment when it's time to push. You got to push. You have to help, because not only will you hurt yourself, but you put your child in danger. Come on, somebody. You're going to put your purpose in danger. You're going to put your dream in danger. If you decide now, I'm exhausted. The labor was too hard. The labor took too long. People go through labor for hours and hours and hours and hours, and they're exhausted. But it's something about, this is from experience. This is from a woman who had three babies. It's something about that moment. Come on, somebody. It's something about that moment when you know this is the time. This is the time. I watched them bring in that baby bed, and I get excited. Because I know now this is the time. All of this crying and all of this moaning and all this uncomfortable feeling, all this stress that my body has taken on, and this pain and this, all of this is for this moment. And so now it's not the time for me to give up. Now it's not the time for me to give in. Now it's not the time for me to break apart and fall apart. But this is the time that I focus in and I hold steady and I stand firm and I focus. And this is the time that I pull up every ounce of energy. I give it everything that I get. And I push. And I push. And I want somebody to know today, you're going to have to push. You're going to have to push. You're going to have to put in that work. You're going to have to grab every ounce of the strength that you have. And now this is what I want to tell you. My last child, I've had the same doctor for all three of my children. And I had a nurse in there that I did not know. And the whole time, my doctor took a long time getting there. And I kept asking her, is he coming? Is he coming? And she kept telling me, he's on his way. And she was very nonchalant about it. And it was driving me nuts, to be honest, you guys. Because she has no sense of urgency. But my body was telling me what? It was telling me it is time. And I remember whispering over to my sister. I said, I'm going to push. And she said, don't worry, baby. My sister was a CNA. She said, I got you. I know how to do this. And we was whispering to ourselves as the nurse was sitting there. And finally, when my doctor did show up, I was so frustrated because your body is not going to hold in a baby. It's just not. And I was, just a little push here, a little push there, but I wasn't doing, everything because you don't want to hurt yourself. And so when he finally showed up, the nurse was trying to tell me, what I should do. Come on, somebody. Oh, this is good. This is good, y'all. The preacher coming out today. The nurse was trying to tell me what to do. She was trying to tell me how to position myself, when I should push. She was just trying to give me instructions. Now, mind you, I've been with this same doctor for 2 babies. We had a good rapport. I've known him for a long time. He knew me. He looked at me. He looked at her. He said, leave her alone. She knows what to do. Come on, somebody. Did you hear what I said? He said, leave her alone. She knows what to do. See, he didn't see me before in this situation. He's seen what I do and how I handle it. And so in that situation, he knew she ain't gonna fall apart. He knew she not gonna cry, scream, holler, and have a fit. She gonna be focused. Come on, somebody. He knew that she's gonna be focused and she gonna get the job done. And guess what? I took over the whole delivery room. I told people what to do. Do you hear me? I told my sister her job, told my husband his job. I told the doctor, here we go. I was ready, y'all. This is my third one, and I was ready, y'all. I was focused. I was steady, and I was firm to get this job done. And it was at that moment, y'all, I forgot what the pain felt like. Do you hear me? Because it felt so good to release that thing that had been causing all of this uncomfortable feeling and all this whatever. It was so good now to release it. It's something about the release of it makes you feel so much better. And this is my experience. It feels good when you can release it. And it's the same thing with you. And the thing that you've been going through, and the things that's been bottling you up and trying to keep you from delivering. Once you focus and once you realize that this is the time, it's coming up to that time, and you give your energy to it, you can be able to take over the room, take authority over the situation, take authority over the circumstances, and use the God-given strength that he has given you, and begin to speak and put things in place and say, no, this is not going to happen, but this is going to happen. Come on. And God will send folks in your life. It's like he sent the doctor to say, wait a minute, leave her alone. She knows what she's doing. And he left me alone, and we were able to do it. God will send the help. God will give you what you need. He will give you the strength even when you think that you have nothing else left to give. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like outside and inside of a labor room. When you feel like you have nothing left, I don't have no strength, I don't have no word, I don't have no song, I don't have nothing to give. I know what that feels like, but I know also what it feels like to have God step in. I know what it feels like when you're done, you're exhausted, you have extended yourself, but then God, I call it a God's moment. God comes in and he gives you the strength, and he makes you strong in your weakness, and he brings you a covering and a protection, and he gives you a little bit more to make it further on. I know what that feels like to say, this got to be it. This is the moment that's going to break me. This is the moment that has to be the moment that's going to take me. I don't know no other way out of this. And then God makes a way out of no way. I know what that feels like. I get it, y'all. I know what that feels like. I see that. I've seen it. And I see it. I see it now for people who are in a tight spot and in struggles and in pain, and it breaks my heart because I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to feel as if you cannot make it one more day. I know what that feels like. I say that a lot because I do know what that feels like. And I've seen people struggle with such things. And people oftentimes will give up on life. And I'm telling you today, don't give up on life. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your purpose. Don't give up on God. He's not giving up on you. There is a song that says, don't give up on God because he won't give up on you. And it says he's able, and he is. And I want to encourage you today to tell you to hold on, stand firm, be steady and stand firm on what you know. Don't give up on your purpose. Don't give up on your destiny. Don't give up on your goals. It is just a push or two away. Do you hear me? It is just a push or two away. And it's amazing because once you start pushing, it don't take nowhere as long as it did for the labor. Do you hear me? Not for me. I don't know what your experience was, but I don't never remember pushing longer than I was in labor. Ooh, come on, God. I don't ever recall sitting in the moment of pushing, the moment of delivery, longer than I was in labor. So labor feels like it lasts forever because the pain is so strong and excruciating. But the delivery brought me some form of peace. The delivery brought me some form of satisfaction because now I was able to get to why I'm here. I was able to see my child be born, the one that I was carrying for 9 months and feeling and experiencing and chit-chatting with and singing to. I was able to see my love come forth, to see the precious cargo. Come on, somebody. My precious cargo come forth. My precious cargo that I protected before they was even here. Come on, somebody. You get this message. Get this message. Y'all know I want to end, but I can't. Because I think somebody needs to hear this, and this is why the preacher's coming out today. Somebody needs to hear this. I was able to see that precious cargo that I protected before it was even here. The precious cargo that meant so much to me before I even seen the face. It wasn't the face that made me fall in love. It was the conception. When I conceived, I loved. Come on. When I knew there was life in my belly, I loved. I loved. And some of you all, you have a purpose. You have a destiny. You have a goal that you are carrying and you are nurturing. And guess what? You ought to nurture it and love it like you would your child. Right? Because it's important to you. It's important to you. Your healing, your breakthrough, it's important to you. This thing is important to you. Don't give up. No more than you will stop pushing for your baby. If there was no one in the world when they said the baby's coming out, that I would stop. I couldn't stop if I wanted to, but I could never, ever conceive in my mind to stop pushing and cause that my child would be in danger or myself would be in danger as I stop. I'm not stopping. I'm going to see this to the end. I'm going to push a healthy baby out. I'm going to push it out. And you need to push it out on today. You need to see it come to pass. You need to see it happen. You ought to see this miracle, this blessing, this breakthrough. See it to the end. See it. See it. Don't walk away from it. Don't let it go. Don't say, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I can't do it. See it to the end. Listen, God bless you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for listening to Renewed Mind Revolution Podcast with your host, Michelle Cook Hall. Today is a good day. Matter of fact, it is a great day. Whenever I'm able to share and talk with you and give you tips and tools, hey, I'm doing great. It's a great day. Remember, you guys, to follow me on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also, you can connect with me on my website, www.michellechall.com. Once again, that is www.michellechall.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Remember, I love you guys, but most importantly, God loves you more. I need you to stand steady and stand firm. God bless you.